Imagine you've been hearing for months that SUI is the next big blockchain. Top team, top technology, institutions are getting involved, CME Futures are launching this month. Sounds like a no-brainer. But when you really look at the numbers, suddenly the picture becomes much more complicated. So the question isn't whether SUI is a good project, but rather what the market is overlooking. And that's exactly what we're going to look at today. Hi, I'm Marius from 10x Invest, and today we're going to take a look at the reality of SUI in the year 2026. So as always, grab yourself an exciting cup of coffee, leave a like for me, and then let's get started right away. And if you want to know which altcoins and stocks I'm keeping an eye on, I usually do my analysis on the weekends, then check out the 10x Insider. There, among other things, I share the analyses I do on altcoins or stocks. Pretty exciting. All the info is in the video description. SUI is currently ranked about 26th by market cap. The project has a strong team, a growing ecosystem, and investors like OneAZ, Coinbase Ventures, and Franklin Templeton backing it. So it's strong, but still the price is ultimately far away from its all-time high. So the question is, how does that fit together? In other words, strong fundamentals, strong investors, but falling prices. And the answer actually lies in a detail that hardly anyone talks about. And that's also the first point we're going to take a look at together. Let's start with this number, 39.5%. That's the proportion of SUI tokens that are currently in circulation. That means out of 10 billion tokens that will ever exist, almost 4 billion are already on the market today. The remaining 6 billion are still to come, every month until well beyond 2030. And now imagine you're investing in a company that tells you, we have great products, but over the next 4 years, we're going to double the number of shares. That's the situation with SUI. But why is that? SUI has various stakeholders who receive tokens paid out over time. Series B investors, early adopters, the Mystery Labs team, all of them have vesting schedules that are still ongoing. Series A and B alone together make up over 14% of the total supply. And Series A investors are sitting on a profit of over 40x compared to their entry price. That doesn't mean they'll sell everything right away, but it does mean that structurally, new supply is coming onto the market every month, and demand has to absorb that first. That's also the main reason why SUI hasn't really gained much since its all-time high, despite good news. But how does all of this actually play out in concrete terms? Take a look at the FDV. Currently, it's around 9.45 billion US dollars. The market capitalization is roughly at 3.72 billion. The ratio is at 2.54. This means that if all tokens were in circulation, SUI would be valued at 2.5 times higher today than the current price indicates. Every new token that comes onto the market dilutes this value. This isn't a flaw in the project, it's the entire design. And this is also the point that many people overlook. The technology is strong, the team is strong, the institutions are coming. But all of this has to fight against the structural selling pressure which will continue until 2030. That means positive news needs significantly more force to move the price with SUI than it would with a coin that has a fixed or high circulating supply. But what exactly is SUI? SUI is a layer 1 blockchain developed by Mystery Labs, founded by former Meta engineers who worked on Diem, which was Facebook's failed blockchain project. What makes SUI special is its technical foundation. SUI doesn't use a classic account model like, for example, Ethereum does. Instead, it uses an object-centric data model. Every asset on the chain is an independent object. This, of course, makes it possible to process transactions in parallel instead of one after another like in a kind of queue. The result? Sub-second finality, extremely low gas fees, and theoretically over 125,000 transactions per second. On top of that, there's ZK Login. This is a feature that allows you to log in with a Google or Apple ID without having to manage a wallet address. At first, that might sound like a small detail, but it's actually one of the biggest barriers to entry that anyone in Web3 is solving. The ecosystem is growing. The TVL is currently around $585 million. In January, SUI processed over $111 billion in stablecoin transfers. This isn't testnet activity, these are real transactions and real volumes. Now in March, SUI launched the native stablecoin USSUI, developed with the bridge from companies from Tribe, designed to be compliant and focused on real payments. This naturally positions SUI as a direct settlement layer for everyday financial transactions. And now this month, CME Futures for SUI are coming. That's nothing new. CME is the largest derivatives exchange in the world. When SUI futures are traded there, institutional players managing billions have structural access. And that's exactly the step that was considered a turning point for Bitcoin and Ethereum. For quick chart updates, by the way, follow me on X. I regularly post there, for example, about SUI chart updates. All information is in the video description. Now to the question in the video title, what is the reality of SUI in 2026? And the reality is, SUI is technologically one of the strongest Layer 1 projects on the market. The team is demonstrably competent, institutions are coming in, and the ecosystem is growing. At the same time, however, SUI has a structural problem that can't simply be talked away. 60% of the supply is not yet on the market. The unlocks will continue well into 2030, and as long as more tokens are flowing into the system than demand is observed, the price will, of course, have a problem. I analyzed SUI using my 20-metric analysis and the result was 79.6%. That corresponds to a solid mid-tier with some structural weaknesses. By the way, Solana achieves a significantly higher rating. The gap is quite clear. Of course, the question is always which type of investor this is designed for. So, are you someone with a long time horizon, 36 months, or are you more of a person who goes for short-term trades? Then SUI is definitely not for you. I am now showing the complete 20-metric analysis of SUI here, including price scenarios. It's extremely interesting. I'll link it here. Thanks for watching and see you soon.